Dust on the truck bed, mile after mile. Fields stretch out wide like they got a mind of their own. Red sign at the hall, coffee gone cold. Everybody talking with a fire in their bones. Hear that rumble now, under boots on the floor. October is coming and we want something more. October 19th, we're standing up. October 19th, we've had enough. Alberta singing loud, let the whole world hear. October 19th, freedom's here. Hard hats on hooks, checks run thin, hands on the ledger and the same old grin. From the shop to the rig, from the barn to the street, people keep asking, what do we believe? Hear that rumble now, under boots on the floor. October is coming and we want something more. October 19th, we're standing up. October 19th, we've had enough. Alberta singing loud, let the whole world hear. October 19th. shed their ink in the dark for the dancers in silence, keeping rhythm in their hearts. Hey, for the brothers in prisons, carving dates into the stone. You are not forgotten, you are not alone. Pressure will rise, I swear it. Hear that echo in my bones. From terror roofs to the ancient thrones. We're breaking their walls, we bear it. Every tear, every battle cry. You can cage your body, but the soul won't die. Pressure will rise. Oh, Persia will rise. We stand together till the falcons fly.
Good morning. Welcome to the NPC show. Deprogramming the world one NPC at a time. I'm your host, Frank. Today is Tuesday, August 4th, 2026. Good morning, everyone. How you doing? Hope you had, well, the weekend's long over. Never mind. Never mind that. Good morning to everyone. Hello to Mary. My soundboard's not on? What's going on? Hold on. Gotta reset my soundboard. It's still set to recording mode. There we go. There we go. Oh, no wonder I couldn't hear the freaking music. I was like, why is the music not on? Anyways, there we go. By the way, thank you very much to David Stores for the donation this morning. Thank you, David. You are awesome. Thank you so much, buddy. Every day keeping the channel alive. Also, thank you very much to Dippin' the Vic. Thank you very much for the 5 coffees he bought me before the show opened. Before the show, thank you very much. By the way, I almost didn't have a show today because of internet. Internet was down again, so I have to figure something else out because I cannot have that. Yesterday it went down during countdown. Today it went down while I was trying to set up. Not looking good. This internet here. I have to figure that out. Good morning, Bendy Barry. Good to see you. Rock the Castle. David Stores, thank you for the donation. And thank you again to Dippin' the Vic. You are awesome. Thank you, buddy. Good morning to Sherry. Lisa, good to see you, dear. Hello, Christine Miller. Sherry, thank you all for being here. Good morning to everyone on Rumble. We got Dixie. By the way, thank you for gifting a membership yesterday. I missed that. I did say thank you later on, but I think you're already gone. Thank you, Dixie Sam, for that. Thank you, Dixie Sam, for gifting a membership yesterday. Thank you. Good morning, Josie, Mary. Where we at? Jillian, good to see you. Tesseract Minded, Liberty, Campbell, good to see you. Good morning. Hello to everyone over on Foxhole. We got Seabear and Stephanie Sprague. Angela is not here yet, but today is her birthday. Happy birthday, Angela, aka Texas Hop. She's called Texas Hop because she's got a pet bunny. I hope you have a happy birthday, and thank you for being a valuable member of this community here. Thank you very much, Texas Hop, Angela, for being here. Thank you. Anyways, back to here. And where we at? Velma, good to see you. Barry, Patriot66. We have a long show today. Can you imagine if I can do a show today? It would have piled up until tomorrow, and then half these stories have been dumped. But internet did come back. We should probably plow through this before my internet goes down again. And then we do have a very extensive watch party, 2 hours worth, more than 2 hours worth. Before that, though, yeah, we got the whole new show, 2 hours worth. We got Trump signing an EO. We've got Roman Balmakov talking about our attempt, the U.S. planning to dismantle the UN's court, which is the ICC, the International Criminal Court. By the way, if you guys don't know how bad the International Criminal Court is, imagine a global police. Okay, they enforce all laws on the whole world, across the whole in every country. Okay, so if China passes a law, they enforce laws on us for what China passes. Think about that for a second. Okay, so again, this is this International Criminal Court is from the UN. The UN's heavily under the thumb of China, which is why we're gonna dismantle China. Imagine that happening. That's what that's all about right there. So it's a much bigger thing than people are paying attention to. Everyone's brushing it off like, you know, what's the ICC gonna do? They have no military. All it takes is President Gavin Newsom to welcome them in, and we're gonna be in a lot of trouble. So that's what that's about. And then we've got one about Malaysia being furious that China built a ghost city and it's like there's nothing there. Yeah, they built a ghost city from Malaysia apparently, and Malaysia's mad about it. So you said if you build it, they will come. Like, no, that's not how it works. You see, this is what happens when you don't do capitalism. In capitalism, you don't build it unless someone's asking for it. You know, unless someone's willing to pay money for it. That's why they have all these ghost cities, all these incomplete high rises, and like no one's living in them. They figured, oh, if you just build it, people will live there. Like, no, that's not happening. No? Stupid as all hell. And then we've got an episode of Joshua today. So we have a very long day today. Thank you very much to Ina for the donation. Thank you, dear. Thank you, Ina. Yay. And good morning, Ron L. Witt, Ina, and Stephanie Sprague. And again, happy birthday to Angela. She's not here yet, but I'm sure she will be later on today. I believe she's a night owl. She wakes up late, sleeps late, something like that. I think, I'm not sure. Anyways, let's get going. Let's end the music. There we go. Oops, don't want that. Close that out. Close that out. There we go. All right. It's a mix of good and bad news today. A lot of good and bad news today. First story of the day, Spain's socialist government is allocating 25 million euros to immigrant minors. Remember those people who invaded Ceuta? Yeah, they're giving them $25 million, specifically to the kids. Yeah. Meanwhile, 1 in 3 Spanish children live at risk of poverty in Spain, but they're just going to go and give money to these invaders here, these Islamic invaders here. I'm telling you, Europe, you guys are a joke. The rest of Europe who you're seeing this and you're just like, oh, it's their money, who cares? You all pay into the same pot, stupids. These kids are not going to be invading your countries once they get citizenship. What a dumb continent, I swear. What a lost cause Europe has become. We need to get out of NATO. So we've got that. We also have, this is a truckload of people attempting to be deported. And look, they're just escaping. This is the Spanish military for ya. This is their competency. Yeah. They all got thrown onto this truck here. And no one's watching them. Everyone's just jumping right out. Yeah, they're almost all gone. Like, it's almost all empty. There's only 3 people left in there. Yeah, yeah. That's Spanish competency for you guys. Yeah, it spreads out. It spreads out, doesn't it? Yeah, literally everyone who's conquered by Spain is about this stupid. Yeah? Any country that speaks Spanish is about this stupid. Reasons why the cartels control Latin America. Good Lord. Anyways, so there's that. Nick Shirley was out in Ceuta, Spain as well. He, by the way, got chased with a knife. They tried to stab him. He does have guards, but unfortunately, there's a lot of them. There's a lot of these roaches all over the place. And by the way, he interviews this guy right here, and this guy literally admits, yeah, we're going to take over all of Europe. They give us free money, and then we steal them anyways. You steal more. We kill everyone.
¿Y por qué?
Porque então que eu vivo, então que eu trabalho.
Shit, hold on. You guys put your captions way too low, just so you know that. Here, I'm gonna have to do this.
Eu vivo Marruecos.
¿Y por qué?
Porque então que eu vivo
Hold on, let's just do this. Let's do this. I will read both sides, okay? Because a lot of you are probably got these earbuds on and you're not listening to any of this. So let's just do this. Oh my God, you gotta be kidding. So you put the caption behind where the TikTok, the Twitter overlay is, so I can't even read it. Anyways, here's a quote. I'll just read what Eric Daughtry wrote, okay? He writes, all of Europe, Romania, Madrid, Barcelona, Germany, Brussels, Belgium, Denmark, Holland, we're going to rape everyone. Yeah. So that's what he says. You guys, holy crap, Nick Shirley, you need a new editor. And so the caption would have been better off at the top. Are you kidding me? Look at this. You can't read half of it. It's covered by the overlay. Jeez. Anyways, next story. Also, Spanish fake news is also out there. Here, look at what they're doing, guys. They're staging. Oh my God, this destitute child. Look at this poor child with brand new shoes and nice pants and a shiny shirt. Oh, he's so poor. We have to help these poor kids. And then watch this. And cut. Hey, good job. Thank you. We're done filming. All right. Thank you very much, Healthy Kid, for posing for us, pretending you're destitute when you're not. They're very well fed by the UN. Absolute dog shit. Yeah. Think about that, guys. The UN is causing all the migration issue. The UN's also trying to create an ICC, International Criminal Court, so they can impose China's laws against us. Okay? And the UN heavily under the thumb of China. The WHO, part of the UN, okay? Heavily underneath China's thumb. Ran cover for them as they started the pandemic, right? And then look who's funding all this. We saw the NGOs yesterday. We covered it yesterday. White liberal women from Europe were in NGOs helping migrants cross the waters into Europe to destroy it. Again, sellouts, all sellouts. Next story. The Supreme Court yesterday has formally issued its judgment solidifying birthright citizenship. So now the only way out of this is for legislation. The Congress has to pass something. Trump signs it, and it's supposed to change the law. And then even then, we'd have to have the Supreme Court evaluate whether that law is constitutional or not, which it is. It would be. And if not, then we would need to amend it, which means we would need 2/3 of each chamber. Good morning, Jojo. Good to see you, dear. How them tatas? How them tatas shaking? Next story. Trump posted a graph showing 330,000 migrant children are still missing. 330,000 still missing. Holy crap, you got to be kidding me. I thought there were 330,000 total from Biden, or 320,000. We're now looking at 330,000 still missing. No. This guy didn't caption it right. There's 330,000 missing from Biden's administration. We've located 148,000. Half of them are still missing. Good Lord. Boy, you guys really don't care anymore now that Elon Musk gave you guys a pay cut, huh? This is disclosed TV. Yeah. If you're not aware of what happened, Elon Musk, in order to fund the AI, in order to fund Grok, he had to cut the pay of all the big channels. The guys who are making millions of dollars, they're now only making, they got like a 90% pay cut in disclosed TV. They publicly said that they can't even pay their staff anymore. Yeah, them. Who else? I forgot. Even Nick Sortor said the same thing. He can't even pay his staff anymore with Twitter revenues. Yeah. Yep. Well, at least you got the nice boost. I never had a chance. Huh? Maybe you should have shared some of that, you know, then we'd have a bigger network here. Unfortunately, most people, I would say at least like 60% of people who were they were actively using Twitter when this whole thing started with Elon buying it, they're all gone. They're all gone. Yeah. Twitter went up and then it just died. Bam. Why? Because you're shadow banning all the, everyone else, and you're giving all the traffic to just the people up top. Yeah. Yeah. We all see it. Everyone sees it. The greatest memers are all gone. Next story. Anti-ICE agitators are trying to storm Delaney Hall again. Look at this. Yeah, don't worry, guys. This time they are arresting them. It's good stuff. Look at this. Look at that. Yeah, these protests at Delaney Hall didn't go very well. They're actually getting arrested. Look at that. Detained, arrested, put away, afuera. Good stuff. That's hilarious. Wow, that's not even at Delaney Hall. This is somewhere else. Where is this at? Police just stormed it to the leftist. Oh, the autonomous zone in Wisconsin. Okay, so the Delaney Hall thing is a whole nother thing. They're behind fences. Got it. So this is out in Delaney Hall. They're doing it again. The paid protesters are banging on fences and pretending they actually care when they really don't. This is why there's not much of a protest this time, because the budget's been cut, because we ended USAID. Yeah? Because we stopped all the fraud that was funding this. Yeah. Look at these guys. All you had to do was work. Instead, you gave your jobs to a bunch of illegals, and now you can't find work. Yeah, you better hope Donald Trump kicks these people off so you can go back to work. Oh, I forgot you don't want to work. I forgot about that. Yeah. Yeah. But anyways, there's that. Interesting. So I wonder which cops did this. The local PD. They're wearing green vests, which it tells me British police, but that's not possible. Why are they wearing neon vests for? Anyways. Over the weekend, they started to do this autonomous zone crap again, this time out of Madison, Wisconsin. The police came and briskly arrested them. Look at that. Very quickly arrested them. Gone, locked up, put away. Good stuff. Kick his ass, Seabass. Next story. ICE reported numbers of all their deportations over this past July. A new all-time monthly record: 51,000 illegal Beancake McGee's detained and deported. Look at that. That's more than 1,600 a day.
Telling Fox News, ICE made roughly 51,000 immigration arrests in July. So that's more than 1,600 per day. It marks the highest single month of arrests the agency has ever recorded. ICE has been steadily ramping up arrests during President Trump's second term. The White House has reportedly pushed immigration officials to aim for 2,000 arrests a day.
So meanwhile, ICE scoring a major legal win yesterday. Federal judge halting a New York state law that bans agents from wearing face masks. This after the Trump team sued to block the...
Oh yeah, that's another piece of good news right there. Yeah, federal court said, hey, your stupid law that says that they have to show your face while you guys allow paid protesters to cover theirs. Yeah, that's not valid.
Ban, arguing it's an illegal push to regulate the federal government. Brian Yanis on that story, the latest in New York City. Brian, good morning.
Bill, good morning. And it's not just masks. A federal judge has also temporarily blocked New York's law requiring federal agents to wear visible ID badges. Judge May
Oh, you were trying to get them to dox themselves. Got it.
Agostino
denied,
ruling that under the Constitution's Supremacy Clause, New York State cannot control how federal agents do their job.
This is telling Fox News.
Yeah. Next story. The DOJ has successfully denaturalized someone named Francisco Javier Montano. You got to pronounce these names properly. They get really, really mad. They start hosting protests and mariachis in front of your house, keeping you up all night so you can't do your show the next day. Yeah. Anyways, denaturalized, guys. He refused to disclose the fact that he forcefully banged a child when he was an immigrant. Ooh, denaturalized. Get rid of them, guys. Next story. Oh, we already covered that. Masks are not banned. Next story. Trump's Labor Department has just banned multiple employers from H-1B visa program after they scammed the system to undercut Americans. Look at this. I hope you're hitting up Oracle. You hear Oracle's dying? Oracle has apparently been very, very dependent on OpenAI's business, okay? OpenAI missed earnings estimates by 94%, meaning they were expecting to make $100 and they only made $6, okay? That's how much they missed by. And they have a lot of business with Oracle. Oracle screwed up, man. You guys used to make software and license it out, and now you're providing compute. When did you guys go to hardware? That's why Oracle's dying, by the way. And that's why they canned a bunch of American citizens and applied for a record, I think it's like 6,000 H-1B visas in like 1 year or 1 month or something. Very high number, okay? So they canned U.S. workers to bring in slave labor from India, okay? So I hope that's one of the companies you've banned from H-1B visas, because they are clearly... Any company that is laying off Americans and then hiring H-1Bs, okay, they ought to be suspended. They had it. By the way, where's that $100,000 annual H-1B visa fee? I thought we were doing that. You're not going to at least try to appeal that? And now you want to talk about forcing green card recipients to make a $100,000 deposit? Like, that's going to happen? Are you sure about that? Anyways, at least they're working on this. They're banning specific companies from applying from H-1B visas. You know, you should revoke their existing ones while you're at it. That way it'll discourage them. You know what I mean? From even trying to do H-1B visa fraud. You see, if you just go and deny it and then block them from applying for future H-1B visas, then they're going to be like, well, if we don't apply for H-1B visas, it's going to be the same thing as being banned anyways. So we might as well apply for H-1B visas. What you got to do is punish them, okay? If they're abusing the H-1B visa program, they should not only be banned from future applications, but they should also lose all their existing ones. Everyone, bam. Mass blanket deportation for everyone based on management's mistakes. That's what you got to do. Okay. This idea that, oh, you're abusing it. Oh, no more applications for you. They're laughing at that. Why? Because Gavin Newsom's just going to come in 2029 and undo all that. Then they'll be applying for it again anyways. You got to make them suffer. Get rid of all of them. That way, when they make the decision to bring them back later, they should know that Rubio, if they fix the election in 2032 and Rubio wins, he's going to get rid of them again. And then they'll be, bam, out of workers. Do you guys know what succession management is? It's this plan where big corporations, they have all these employees, right? Succession management is like, let's say this person gets hit by a bus. Who's going to take on their role? Where's all the documents that explains what they did for work? Okay? Because if this person gets hit by a bus and we don't know how to do his work, we're in trouble as a company. There's a big gap there now, right? His employees don't know. His bosses don't know. We're in trouble. You know, they usually document them in like these they usually document they're called business processes. They usually document that, right? But a lot of these people don't like to document it because it makes them expendable, right? So they might document it, but they're just going to half-ass it. Oh yeah, this is how you do the work. A lot of gaps there, but here you go. You know, yeah. Anyways. So H-1B visa programs, you guys got to punish these companies as well. Get rid of their existing ones. Yeah, revoke them. Next story. A jaw-dropping level of home health fraud has been exposed in Philadelphia. Look at this one. A person was providing home health while in prison. Yeah.
Over 6,200 defendants nationwide so far, allegedly responsible for more than $45 billion in improper private and public insurance claims. Now, Philly has a large aging population that relies on federal health programs, so it could be a very vulnerable area for this. And officials, they've already been working behind the scenes with charges planned to be released today as well against 19 defendants involved in some really outlandish schemes. Now, Fox News has been told a little bit about some of these cases. I mean, this includes a home health aide who was billing for providing services while in jail. Another who investigators say claimed to be a person who was in need but was caught by federal investigators working a construction job. Home health care funds are intended to provide a lifeline for aging or disabled patients. It can allow a family member to provide that care if that's what fits best. But it's also, like I said, a really vulnerable system. It relies on the honor system. There's no direct supervision. The Justice Department, CMS, state attorney generals, they're now involved in making sure there's more oversight and arrests where need be. Guys.
All right, Alex Hoff, thank you.
Sure.
Next story. The AG of Florida just moved to have leftist Judge Nancy Abudu impeached. Yeah, this is Nancy Abudu here. Can you guess what she did? Right, SPLC board member. That's what she did. Yeah, lots of fraud. By the way, when are we going to get Jocelyn Benson? She was also on the SPLC board, was she not? Yeah. Kash Patel still waiting on that. Does she outrank you? Is that what it is? Anyways, James Utham. Why does it say Speaker Johnson? Jim Jordan, James Comer, Chuck Grassley, regarding the impeachment inquiry into former SPLC lead attorney Judge Nancy Abudu. I guess this is just notifying. I don't know why. The state of Florida has to notify Congress, the U.S. Congress, about this. So is this they have to be impeached by the federal Congress? That ain't happening. You might have had a chance in Florida. How are you going to impeach her? This is a lawyer. Oh, she's currently a judge. Judge Nancy Abudu. She was the lead attorney for SPLC. If they're writing to Congress, DC Congress, it sounds like they're going to be the one that have to vote for it. And that's probably not going to happen. You need 2/3 vote to do an impeachment of a judge. Thank you, Sidney Powell, for telling people not to vote anymore and making us lose the Senate. Next story. A transgender TV star has been arrested for diddling a kid. Ugh, gross. And also jacking it on their face. This is it. I don't know what it is, so I'm gonna be gender neutral, as unoffensive as possible, right? This thing here jacked off on a kid's face. Sydney Favors, aka Sydney Star. You named yourself Sydney Star, you loser. That's like naming myself the most famous YouTuber ever, you know? No one knows who I am. Just like 200 of you. That's it. Anyways, he was arrested Sunday, charged with someone under 16. Very, very, very young. That is gross. A biological dude starred in Love and Hip Hop, New York, and Wild and Out. So black stuff, basically. Rap music stuff. Got it. Boy, you rap industry. You used to be like the studs of like music, and now you're fucking hanging around with troons. Holy crap! Next story. Hate crimes are on a rise against Jews thanks to Mamdani. Yeah, he refuses to wag his finger about it, and even if he did, he'd probably only be doing it for political reasons. He knows him and his Islamic bros. They wink at each other. Oh, I just had to say that. Allahu Akbar, stab whoever you want. I just had to say it legally to not look so bad, not look like I want to kill you and everyone. Thank you very much, Just Jim, for the donation. Look at that. He says they're gonna release me and to go and recover at my daughter's today. Cool. I'm feeling much better, and it wasn't the letters. It was your liver. Are you a drinker? Yeah, I'm allergic to alcohol, so I never got into that. But I hope you feel better. Your liver. Wow. I've known heavy drinkers that had liver problems in like their teens. I'm not kidding. He's like 19 years old, just partying it up like crazy. Liver problems. Next story. Zohran Mamdani's universal free childcare program projected to cost billions more than planned. Of course. Because when they make out the plan, they don't want it to look outrageous. Like, oh, it's going to cost $900 billion. They're not going to tell you that. Of course not. Yeah, because then people are going to be like, hey, what happened to that free transportation? Why don't you use that money to make transportation free for all of us? You know? Because it's all of us, even all of us who don't have kids also pay taxes, right? And we all use public transportation in New York, almost all of us, right? Other than the super wealthy. And no. It's going to cost way more now. So it was estimated originally to cost $9 billion, and now it's anticipated to cost double that. Oh no! Originally $6 billion, now it's going to cost $3 billion. $3 billion more. So, yeah. Oh, look at that! You're only off by 50%. That's a lot. Yeah. By the way, whoever wrote this article, you know what you should have said? You should have said Mamdani's childcare expenses will cost 150% of what was originally expected. That way it sounds bigger. If you're at 50%, people are going to be like, oh, it's half off. Okay, yeah. You guys are bad at this propaganda stuff, man. Oh, because the New York Post, that's why. They're not exactly, they're kind of like in the middle. Like they got some leftists in there, and they got some like they'll actually speak honestly about like Trump and stuff like that. But the New York Post is like, they're like sometimes, like if it's a woman, they're leftists. They're anti-Americans, and if it's a guy, it's like they're patriots and whatnot. But boy, you guys, and then David Marcus, you copied them. Only 50% of the cost. I'm not surprised it's cheaper than they expected. I'm glad they overestimated so that we can save 50%. That's what that sounds like. Jesus. You guys are so bad at this. See, that's one of the things that Democrats are really good at. Ooh, the Inflation Reduction Act, which literally adds inflation, but they named it an Inflation Reduction Act. See, they're smart, they're clever, they're sneaky, conniving. They learn from the Chinese women, I should say, the ones that we've been watching every day on every episode of Asian Women Are Awful. We don't have one today, by the way. I ran out. I gotta find more. They gotta make more of those. Those are great. We often in America, I think a lot of the guys are pretty frustrated at how women are in this country. And then you look at how awful they are in China, and you're like, it's not so bad here, Just not in the cities. Not in the cities, Not in the cities, and not anyone who's an 8, 9, or 10. They're terrible, Next story. Future Governor Ching Chong here out of Wisconsin has previously said she said it's about time we effing 86 Trump. Yeah, she's calling for killing Trump, and she's potentially going to be the new governor out of Wisconsin. Francesca Hong, you're a disgrace to me. By the way, I've been saying this a number of times. Just because I'm on your side doesn't mean you trust all of them, okay? In fact, if they're a woman, you should definitely not trust them, okay? 66% of minority women are against America, hate whites, hate capitalism, all that shit. They're complete sellouts, okay? They love that Chinese money. They love that CCP money, okay?
In the restaurant industry, when we're out of something, we say it's 86th. And I'd say it's about fucking time we 86 Trump.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So you kill it from your menu. You murder it from your menu. Got it. Y'all, we should tell you, dude, that I'm not gonna die. I want to tell you to die, because I don't want to break a nail. Yeah.
He represents the utter failure of our government to keep us.
Hey, why do you paint your eyelids to look bigger? You're ashamed of your race or what? Huh? I want to look white. Did you guys know that? They look thick as hell. I've seen some of them have eyeliner all the way up until like where the bone is. Yeah. They want their eyes to look big. Ooh.
Safe from threats, both viral and systemic. In the rest.
Yeah. Disgrace. You're a disgrace. Oh yeah, this is a previous interview where she was asked, do you think Thanksgiving should be canceled? And she said, yeah, it's incredibly painful for the community. And the only thing canceled, the only part of Thanksgiving that was canceled was the socialism part. You guys know about that? When Thanksgiving was basically a failed socialist experiment. You know, they had this little commune. Everyone kind of like worked and everyone shared in the community and stuff like that. And no one wanted to do anything because it's like, oh, someone else will do it. Why would I do it? Yeah.
You know, you talked about your past positions that he keeps highlighting and, you know, obviously likely would continue to do so before November should you win. One thing that they brought up as well was a post from you in 2021 where you said Americans should cancel Thanksgiving, should have done this in 1621. The post has been deleted. Republicans have been highlighting it. Do you still believe that Thanksgiving should be canceled?
Kazoo says the Egyptians started the eyeliner thing. Yes, but for different reasons. They're trying to look more round-eyed because they know who the better-looking women are, right, ladies? Right, Becky?
I'm a chef, and one of the first meals that I made that was for the community when I was 16 was a Thanksgiving meal.
So she's a chef and she's running for governor? Good Lord.
I always think my hospitality background in owning a restaurant for 7-8 years, that bringing folks around the table to share conversation and build community is always a good thing. But Thanksgiving is also...
Hey, why don't you talk about what you do to white people's food? Yeah. Do you guys know that? They'll intentionally burn your food so that you don't come back? Yeah. You won't see it because burnt stir fry, you don't really see. It's the stuff that's burnt, it basically gets deglazed by the rice wine that they throw in there. But you'll taste it and you'll be like, I don't like your hair anymore. Da, 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 da. Yeah, and then they wonder why no one tips anymore. Yeah, white people don't want to tip.
Incredibly painful for many people in our communities. And so I think I wanted to make sure that people understood that there are multiple views, but views can evolve. And the position that I'm running for right now, and I think my background as a chef will actually help me become a better governor that's able to bring more people.
So she's a chef running for governor. This is the best that the Democrats have to offer, and they wonder why they keep losing. Dude, if she wins, I'm going to be completely at shock, man. She's going to be the first Marxist governor who is Chinese or Asian or whatever. We already got Mayor Wu out in Boston. That's already bad enough. Can you imagine her having a little, holiday party for whites are not allowed? Yeah, that's a fun fact. That's what happens in Boston, by the way.
To the table.
Francesca Hong, thank you for joining us. We hope to have you back on, depending on how things go next week in your primary.
Go back to the kitchen. It's where you belong. This is the first time that's worked, without being so offensive. Anyways, next story. Oh, today is today's a primary for Michigan. Yeah, if you are in Michigan, you better vote. If you don't vote, don't complain. Obviously, we're Republicans in here. It doesn't mean you cannot switch parties and try to primary this guy right there. This guy's a Marxist Islamic right there. The fat lady is the fat white lady is probably not as bad. Okay. So if you feel like switching parties, you know, they do it. You know, I did it. I switched parties. I became a Democrat for 9 months just to try to primary Hillary Clinton because I hated her so much. I was a Bernie-crat. Yeah. I went from voting for John McCain to switching parties to voting for Bernie Sanders and then switching back and then voting for... Well, I didn't switch back officially. I jokingly switched my party to the Knife Party because I like their music. It is an EDM group called Knife Party. Yeah, and then I jokingly, in 2016, I jokingly wrote in Carly Rae Jepsen. Because I was in California and my votes don't matter out there. So I jokingly wrote in Carly Rae Jepsen, a Canadian pop star who was not qualified. Not eligible either. Yeah. Damn, has my microphone been this low? Okay, it's fine. Never mind. I thought it was low or something. I'm just sitting higher today, I guess. Anyways, that's in Michigan today, and he's expected to win. So, I don't know. You can still try. Haley Stevens is the lady. Oh, this guy's a 98% favor. Yeah, it's done. Never mind. Stay home. Don't do anything. Wow, Michigan. Anywho, next story. Gabe Vasquez, his account was made to look. There's a Democrat representative named Gabe Vasquez. Okay, he's in New Mexico. He set up his account to make it look like he was working. Okay, here it is. Oh, he's got all these scheduled posts. Okay. Back to school season, and we owe it to our kids to make sure everyday student has access to nutritious meals. Yeah, because school's about to start again pretty soon, right? About like a week or two in some states. So he's out in New Mexico, and this just posted August 10th. Oh no, I'm sorry. This is August 10th, right? Of last year. Meanwhile, if you look at his other posts. Yeah, Vasquez is working in New Mexico post hit Alaska-sized problem. Yeah, he was actually in Alaska fishing. He was on a fishing trip that was paid for by anti-drilling activists, okay? So in other words, the people who are paid money to make us force green energy down our throats, to make everything more expensive, to ruin our economy, to make life miserable, to make us dependent on energy, to be from China, as opposed to being domestically drilled from our own soil. Okay, so that's the kind of people who paid for his trip to Alaska. That's a little trout that he either caught it or someone else caught it. And he's just taking a picture to look cool. Because he's kind of a fisherman can he be? He's from New Mexico, huh? Anyways, now that's what I think when I think of an ocean fisherman. I think of landlocked New Mexico. He probably just bought the fish at a store. It was frozen. It's probably a frozen fish. It's probably why he didn't even do a video. You know, why did you do a video when everyone has a cell phone with video capabilities these days? You took a photograph, yeah? It was frozen. You can see the frost on it. I'm kidding. I'm making that part of it. I don't know. I'm sure he defrosted it beforehand, you know? But anyway, so these are the two posts. Expectation versus reality, Gabe Vasquez edition. He pretended to be in his district when he actually went fishing in Alaska. Yeah. This is very, by the way, very contrary to Hispanic work ethic. Usually they work very hard. Not this guy. Yeah. Not the American born and raised ones, I guess. Anyways, he must be a SNAP recipient. That's why. Next story. A deranged Golden State Valkyries coach says, in quotes, "I'm all about little girls deserving to play, but men should be allowed in women's sports basketball league." Okay, that second part wasn't part of the quote, but you get what they're saying, okay? Again, this league is absolute dog shit. Nothing but a bunch of activists here. Terrible, terrible. Natalie Nakasi. Is that Japanese? I think it's Japanese. Anyways, terrible. Okay, we're not going to sit through an ad. No one cares about the WNBA. Next story. We talked enough about them this whole week. Department of Justice is officially monitoring the polling stations across Michigan, in Detroit, Hamtramck, Lansing, and East Lansing. Bizarre. So you're actually going to monitor in the primaries? Because I don't think they probably don't need to cheat the primaries. I mean, Michigan is an Islamic state now. There's no chance she's going to win at all. Anyways, they had a debate last night. We're not going to watch it. That's a waste of time. They're basically competing to see who's more woke. Yeah, because it's a Democrat primary. They don't turn into centrists until after the primaries are over. Next story. John Thune is facing mass calls to keep the Senate in session rather than recess starting this weekend. So a reconciliation package with Save America Act attached can be ran through. J.D. Vance is also waiting in the wings to break the tie. So everyone's ready to go to vote on this. There's a long list of senators who are in support of ending the vacation, ending the recess, or not having it at all. Donald Trump, by the way, does have the power to force them to stay and vote. Okay? He doesn't have the power to force them to pass it, though. It's the problem. And us without the Republicans, without Murkowski, Collins, Tillis, and Cornyn, we're at 49. And actually, and McConnell, we're at 48. And so we have to heavily start threatening to primary these people. Which, by the way, how come no one primaried Susan Collins? What happened to this thing that we're going to be primarying people who vote against Trump's agenda, and then nothing happens to Susan Collins? We don't even have a primary challenger for her. Should have voted in the Nazi. Anyway, so that's what they're calling for right now. Hopefully it happens.
Well, Jackie, I think the response that you heard has to do with the fact that we've got 50 Republicans or more that are willing to push this through, but we need more Democrats to get to 60 if we're going to pass it as it stands. What we're focused on right now is a reconciliation product. Lindsey Graham was working on this before his untimely departure, bless his heart. But we are, again, working on a product that I think we can use the reconciliation process, which only requires a majority vote, which we can deliver. We're navigating that process right now. This is not an easy situation when you've got every Democrat in the Senate that's opposed to any type of election integrity. I think it's quite embarrassing for the Democrat Party, and people should be asking why it is they're doing this, what's their underlying motive. But at the same time, I'm ready to stay here to get this done in whatever form it requires. We do have a vehicle that's under consideration right now that I think we can get significant elements of the Save America Act passed.
You're willing to stay here? I take that meaning push off recess then?
Whatever we need to do to get this accomplished, the American public expect.
Senator Thune, by the way, just announced that he is holding firm on recessing after this. I believe it's gonna be Thursday. They say Friday, it's Thursday. They only work 3 days a week. Absolute bullshit. Oh, Cuba got their power back. Oh, you must be so proud, insider paper. Oh, your communist buddies got their power back on, huh? Stupid. Okay, we'll add this to the show tomorrow because it's migrant related. We're already past that section. Baby sister Graham says that she's in favor of nuking the filibuster to pass the Save America Act. Look at that. Baby sister Graham looking a little better every day. I'm starting to really like her. Now, if she could just go and be as much of a neocon as her brother was, then I'd be like, hey. She's going to be more fixated on domestic affairs, by the way. I think also because she's not exactly very connected to the international community, you know. She hasn't been flown out by butt-sex Zelensky yet, you know. And plus, she doesn't have all the parts that he's interested in anyways, you know, because she's a woman. Anyways, next story. Cyber attacks are now slamming into water systems in 7 different states. 7 states, guys, not just freaking Minnesota. By the way, a lot of these seem to be blue states. Well, that's an interesting little coincidence, right?
Hackers are targeting critical infrastructure here at home. Jennifer Griffin has much more for us. Hi, Jennifer. Good morning.
Hi, good morning, Dana. Minnesota has reported attacks on roughly 30 water systems, while Michigan has confirmed 9 incidents, 7 states in total. The FBI has warned that Iranian-affiliated cyber actors are targeting internet-connected industrial control systems used.
Cyber attacks hit 30 water systems in Minnesota, 9 in Michigan, so 2 states. What was this, about 7 states? So it's 7 states, but this is just a short list, huh?
By U.S. critical infrastructure, including water and wastewater facilities. But until this point, the White House has tried to avoid blaming Iran.
We heard in Minnesota there was a cyber attack and they blame it on Iran. I don't think so. I think I blame it on Minnesota because they're grossly incompetent.
Iran certainly has been doing this well before this conflict, and this is something we certainly need to be aware of.
We're at
and we
war
need to
now,
be diligent.
CISA, the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, warned Thursday it is seeing, quote, a significant increase in cyber threat actors targeting programmable logic controllers, PLCs, in the water and wastewater system sector, adding that the
valves. We better get Candace on this, eh?
activity has resulted in boil water notices and sustained manual operations.
All indications are pointing to...
And that's the end of that video. Next story. A high-level U.S. government official leaked crucial military plans from President Trump on Iran. This person is facing calls of being imprisoned. They tipped off Iran. Yeah. They got... I wonder how many insiders there are. Maybe we need to start doing lie detector tests on these people.
In the region, as the Middle East waits to see if a deal will be reached or we'll see a return to war.
So Trey, real quickly, the president talked about the military operation that was leaked over the weekend. It's obviously, they need to figure out who's leaking from the White House. That has to be someone high within government that put that out there to sources. It's our job as the press to cover that. But I'm curious from your perspective and your sources on the state of play.
By the way, you guys want to know this information that got leaked? You know how closely guarded it was? We kept it so close to our chest that even Israel didn't know about these plans, but it still managed to leak to Iran.
League played out in the Middle East, and who then phoned the White House to get to the negotiating table?
It's a great question because these leaks can be substantial, and when you're looking at a situation with 50,000 U.S. service members, destroyers, refuelers, fighter jets across the region, the operational security is very significant whenever there are plans being made to strike Iran. And the president indicated he called off the planned strikes at the request not only of Iran, but also of Gulf allies like Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and the UAE. What was interesting, though, Lawrence, we spoke with senior Israeli intelligence officials over the weekend who said they weren't even aware of the details of the plan. And that's how close the administration was holding these details to the chest because of how sensitive it is in the region. And so moving forward, we do anticipate the Trump administration will do
that. By the way, that might be why we didn't launch our attacks, right? Imagine we launched our attacks and they already moved all their assets.
Everything possible to ensure that they're not giving Iran a heads up. They want to keep the Iranians guessing as these diplomatic pathways play out, understanding that if the talks fail, we are likely looking at a return to combat operations.
So obviously, Trey, we are seeing the White House trying to keep their cards close to the vest, but there is also a tremendous buildup. We've watched a tremendous buildup over the last couple of months. Some of that is.
What else is there? Oh yeah, so here's some of the a brief outline of what Trump's asking for. He's giving them a deadline of today or tomorrow to reach a deal on the Strait of Hormuz. The three stipulations we're looking for: Iran must reach a deal with Oman on the Strait of Hormuz today or tomorrow. It is Iran's last chance before what he called decapitation. There will be no charging for access to the Strait of Hormuz. So you know what, this brief pause so that we can negotiate might be because they need to resurvey the area to find all the targets again. That might have been what it is because of that leak that we just talked about. But this is supposedly maybe happening today or tomorrow. And this time they're not giving them 6 weeks to like, oh yeah, we'll figure out the rest of it in 6 weeks. No, it's got to be done now. Yemen, on the other hand, decided that they're going to attack Saudi Arabia's airport. Ooh, hey, Saudi Arabia, it's a good time for you to go ahead and annex them. Yeah, just box all the Islamists into a little. Well, you guys are also Islamists, so that's not going to work. How do you do that, right? How do you weed them out? Have you just boxed the entire the entire country into a little corner and call it Gaza 2? And occasionally fire rockets there. Next story. Another wild bears was hit in Russia. This is pretty much their Amazon, and got hit by a drone from Ukraine. Yeah, this is the fourth wild bears. Yeah, they're going after their food distribution centers, guys. Yeah, it's going to be a very, very bad winter for Russia. Next story. The EU chief is urging united action on borders after the Quetta migrant rush. Yeah. Oh yeah, what are you going to do, EU? You're going to put up signs? You're going to put up signs that says continent full? Is that what you're going to do? You're going to wave your finger at them? Oh, we're going to we're going to unifiably, in unison, we're all going to in unison wag our finger at the Islamists coming in. Oh, you cannot come into our country. Oh, yeah. Okay, Europe. Okay, EU. Okay, continent with no military. Good Lord. Next story. The Trump admin is banning imports of these very specific parts that have to do with transmitting data via fiber optics. These specific devices are made in China. So the FCC is working on a measure to ban new Chinese optical transceivers. These are going to be things that are very important for the data centers. Yeah, so they will still be buying them. Obviously, they're not the only ones who make it. They're just going to spend a little bit more and get it from Japan or Korea or Taiwan. But good stuff that we're really cramping down on their spying. Okay? Because only we get to do that. All right? Because we're good and you're bad. Yeah. These are facts. Next story. Marco Rubio just penned a deal. It's a nuclear memorandum with Paraguay. Look at that. Paraguay. I remember these guys. Remember, this is the first team we played in the World Cup. Yeah, they were nice guys. They lost humbly, you know. They were cool. Anyways, President Trump surges cooperation and alliances across Latin America. Look at that. Now we have to hope that the incoming president in Colombia doesn't get assassinated. Because the things he said he's going to do will get him assassinated. Yeah, he's pretty much going to make it their own CCOT and just start yanking in cartel members. And imprisoning them like sardine cans, like they do in El Salvador. So good stuff. USA and Paraguay, good stuff. It's a great match. Next story. Ooh, where's this? Not Fuego volcano? Where? I don't know where this is. Let's go to this one. Where is this? Acentago. Whatever, man. I don't know where this is. We don't know where Fuego or Satano is. You guys didn't want to put the country that it's in? Is that the country, Acentago? I didn't even know that was a country. Anyways, some hikers on Volcano Fuego are filming this eruption here. Look at that. Ooh. Should we run? Should we stay? Should we run? Should we stay? Oof. I wonder what that feels like, you know, the shaking. I wonder what that feels like. Anyways, it looks cold. Next story. If you guys missed this, on last Friday during the cabinet meeting, Scott Bessent put this on his notepad. He wrote that on his notepad. He left it right there. He's sitting across from Trump. The media is right behind him. Someone from, I believe, Reuters actually took a picture of this with his name tag next to it, okay? And it says, to do, buy Japanese yen 5 to 10 billion, okay? We briefly talked about this. He sold $5 to $10 billion of euro and bought Japanese yen. And he was interviewed about this, okay? He listened to his response as to why he did it.
We don't see a run on the, or a continued run on the yen. I just got to ask you, you're a sly dog. When you wrote that down, buy 5 to 10 billion, and the printing looked so big. You've done this before, haven't you? Where you know people are looking over your shoulder. Did you need to be reminded of things to do? Buy 5 to 10 billion in yen. Tell me what was really going on there, Mr. Secretary.
Well, I just wanted to make sure that all the reporters looking over my shoulder also knew the symbol JPY for the Japanese yen. So.
Okay.
Instead of
so here's what happened, okay? Japanese yen's not been doing good. They called us on Thursday to ask us to intervene. Friday they made a decision that they were going to intervene, but they didn't buy it yet because by the time they made the decision, the Japanese markets are closed, okay? So the plan was to buy it on Monday, but that leaves the whole weekend for things to go bad, right? So he put this out there because he knew the nosy media behind him were going to be taking pictures of everything and being nosy. They circulated this all weekend weekend, and throughout the weekend, what we saw, things just kind of stabilize, right? Granted, it's not doing good again. This intervention happened Sunday night, which is Monday morning for them, and it took the Japanese yen from like 165 yen per dollar down to 154 or something like that. Okay, and down is good, means you need less yen for a dollar. That's already back up to like 158, almost 158 last night. So it's going right back this way. It looks like they're gonna have to do rate hikes, because we're trying to help you now. It ain't helping. It ain't working. They're going to need to raise interest rates. And by the way, what's causing this is the fact that our interest rates and their interest rates are so far off. That's why it's doing this. And we're going to have that carry trade issue, right? So we need to bring those interest rates closer. Either we got to cut or they got to raise. And unfortunately, Kevin Warsh is still following the book. And we're looking for a rate. We're looking at a rate hike later this year, by the way. I think in September. I think we're doing a rate hike. Yeah, it's like a 2/3 chance that we do a hike.
Shorthand to yourself.
Yeah, I was going to finish the list. The rest of the list was, like go and have lunch with the supreme leader, play tennis with Putin. But I thought I would just leave it at the buy 5 to 10 billion of Japanese yen.
Well, it's got a much better chance at a coordinated probably intervention, because Japan blew through about, I don't know, how much did they blow through in April and May?
About 110 billion. Whatever we helped them out with here. By the way, we didn't give the money. We just bought the currency. We still have the money. And by the way, we buy the currency while it's like dirt cheap right now, and it goes up. We make money. So the amount that we spent buying their currency is 10% of what they've already spent buying their own, and they're still tanking. That's really bad. They need to start raising interest rates. That unfortunately is going to cause our economy to take a dump right ahead of midterms, by the way.
Didn't really stem the decline.
Yeah. Oh, it did extend the decline because there are already memes about this, guys. Look at this person. This guy's in Poland. Okay, and he's got something to say about this. This is a hilarious meme. Look at this. Remember, this is Mo throwing Barney out, okay? But they said that they took Mo and they replaced his face with Scott Bessent. He threw Barney out, right? This is USD to JPY exchange rate, 160, meaning 160 Japanese yen for $1, okay? He threw him out, and he still shows up right behind him at 160. It's headed there. Should be there by maybe today. By tonight, which is going to be daytime in Japan. It went from about 155 to 157.5 in one day after we already intervened. So it's not looking good. Speaking of which, Amazon, Jeff Bezos dumped 15 million shares today. Oh, look at that. He sure knows what's coming around the corner. Yeah, Amazon, by the way, over the years of building up their AWS, they are starting to see that it's cresting. It's no longer growing. It's just kind of like, oh, the only direction it's going to go now is sideways or down. And so he sold $4 billion worth of his own Amazon shares today. Yeah, I think he knows what's coming around the corner. It's that AI bubble. And what better time for the AI bubble to pop than right before midterms, right? So these little leftist bankers are going to be engineering this shit. So that happened today. Amazon took a 2% dump, and most of their business is AWS. They provide compute for AI companies and whatnot. Anyways, we got more to watch. We got a Trump executive order signing. Then we're going to cut off of YouTube. Then we're going to go to Rumble, and we're going to watch Trump's plan to dismantle the ICC. Malaysia's furious. China built a $100 billion ghost city that no one's even using in Malaysia. And then also an episode of Joshua about the migrant surge in Spain. Before we start that, though, remember, guys, I've got multiple channels to follow: Frank's Funny Shorts as well as Frank's Show Clips. Links are in the description as well as on the main page. Thank you to those who've been hyping videos on this main channel here, but if you can, please hype them on that channel, Frank's Show Clips. If you only get 3 hypes a week, and they're worth more on smaller channels. Thank you very much, Sean Joe, for the donation over on Foxhole. Thank you, buddy. Thank you. Did that go out? There we go. Thank you, Sean Joe. You're awesome. Anywho, so by the way, Cash App, Buy Me a Coffee, subscribe to our Patreon, or ways you can support the channel, or you can become a member like Sherry or Diane. It's $3 a month, helps keep the channel alive. Or you could become a member like Campbell and Josie on Rumble and Jillian on Rumble. It's $5 a month, and you get access to our Rumble Premium Hangouts, or you can do it on Foxhole. Yeah. So, anyways, here we go, guys. Watch party time. Executive order signing first.
Thank you for all being here as we take a major new step to support our incredible military family, something that we've been working on for a long time. I guess you could say for decades. There's never been anything like this. Today, I'm signing an executive order to establish the first ever Presidential Military Spouse Commission. It'll be chaired by Jennifer Hegseth, the wife of, and highly respected wife, I may add, of Secretary of War Pete Hegseth, both here. I also want to congratulate the new executive director of the commission, Desiree. So where's Desiree? Where are you, Desiree? You do such a good job. Desiree Thompson-Sale, along with new commission member Christy Mullen, wife of Secretary of Homeland Security, Secretary Mark Wayne Mullen. These are outstanding people, everyone, male and female, outstanding. The commission will also include the spouses of our wonderful service secretaries, the spouses of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, and the spouses of their senior enlisted leaders. And we have some incredible talent. And I won't tell you these spouses, I've looked at educationally and every other way, they're amazing. We're also pleased to be joined by Secretary Hegseth and the Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Dan Kane. Thank you very much, Dan. America cannot have the strongest military in the world without the love and devotion of our remarkable military spouses who make the extraordinary sacrifices for our country. They really are extraordinary. Many military spouses spend months separated from their loved ones while our heroes are deployed overseas. Military families also endure frequent moves and other unique challenges, and the challenges are legendary. They write books about them. This commission will provide recommendations for improving the quality of life for military spouses so that we can better support both our military families and the entire United States Armed Forces. The commission will develop suggestions to address particular challenges in housing, employment, healthcare, education, childcare, and just about everything else you can think of. We've never had this opportunity. We're doing it now because we've done a lot for our military. We love our military. Every day our administration is fighting to give our military families the support they dearly need and they deserve. As part of the great, big, beautiful bill, we provided hundreds of millions of dollars for military child care and improved housing on military bases. It's being built, much of it's being built right now. Last Christmas, every service member received a warrior dividend of $1,776. Think of that. I wonder where we got that number. It's actually $1,775. The number worked out to be 17. I said, if you add $1, we have 17. That was one of my genius ideas. We have 1776. But that was a great thing, and we've given it every member of our military hard-earned pay raise. We've also given the pay raise. The commission will help ensure we continue to give military spouses our very best so our military can continue to be the strongest military anywhere in the world, and we're proving that. As you know, we had a conflict with Venezuela, worked out very well, and we have a conflict with Iran, and that's working out very well, very, very well. So now I'd like to ask Jennifer Hegseth to say a few words, followed by Pete, General Kane, and then I will sign the executive order putting this into play. And it's an order that's...
Real quick, let me do one live read, okay? It won't be long. There we go. Cool, all right. We hear a lot about crypto, but here's the part most people miss. Crypto was created so you could actually own and control your money. After the 2008 financial crisis, Bitcoin was designed as an alternative to banks. So instead of a bank holding your money, delaying transfers, or limiting access, you are in control. And if you've ever had to wait for a transfer to clear, you felt that problem. Now, fast forward to today, everyone's heard of crypto, but getting started still feels complicated. That's exactly why I use Romo Wallet. It takes all that complexity and makes it simple. Choose what you want: Bitcoin, dollar-backed stablecoins, or even digital gold backed by real gold. No complicated setups. It connects with MoonPay so you can use your credit card, debit card, or bank account and be up and running in minutes. Once you're set up, you can even support your favorite Rumble creators like me directly. So do this now. Scan the QR code or click the link in the description and download Rumble Wallet. From there, you can set up your own wallet, tap buy, and you're in the game. In just a few minutes, you can go from just hearing about crypto to actually owning some. All right, here we go.
Long overdue, as far as I'm concerned, like by decades. And we're going to do a real job with it. And Jennifer, if you will, please.
Well, Mr. President, you have been a champion for the military, and we are so grateful for that, and that continues today. And like you said, these are generational issues that are long overdue to address. And we have the most amazing women here who have decades of experience as military spouses themselves to take a look at it. There's really nothing we're going to find that they haven't experienced. And so between what they've experienced and what they know, we're going to really tackle these things. And I've spent the last year traveling around, meeting with military spouses and families around the world and around the country, and it's the same from Kentucky to Singapore. It's housing, it's healthcare, it's employment, it's childcare, it's education. And so we're going to take a look at all of those things. Even one of the women up here, I won't say who, but was a paramedic. And as they moved from state to state, she could not get the license. Switched to that state in time.
Oh, thank you, Christian Moore, for the donation and the super chat. He says, "You the man, Frank, great book, brother." Thank you very much. You're awesome. You and the Moore family saving this channel. Thank you, buddy.
Before you move again, before you PCS. And it makes it really difficult for these families to survive, let alone all the other sacrifices we're asking for them. So this is a big deal today. We're super grateful. Every time Pete travels around, Secretary Hegseth travels around to the troops, he tells them, the president has your back, and now the families know that you have their back too, and we are grateful. Thank you.
Thank you, Jennifer. Great job. Thank you. How about you say something first, and then we'll go back into the general. You're not going to top it.
I can't top that, Mr. President.
Give it a shot. You're not going to.
Good job. It's true. Strong families equal strong formations. I mean, when you look at it from a military perspective as a secretary, our job is to make sure our troops are prepared and ready on behalf of the nation. And if your family's not taken care of, then it causes hesitations and complications for the warfighters up front. And so we say often, and we mean it, no soldier, no Marine, no member of the Joint Force serves alone. And so if we can address the issues of housing and make sure it's quality housing, make sure employment opportunities are maxed out, make sure child care is taken care of, make sure DOEA schools are the best in the world so that our military kids are being educated, the trade skills they might want to take the next chapter in life, if that warfighter knows that their family is good to go, they will go the extra mile, which is what our nation asks. So we're in for this. Is not one of those window dressing efforts. Jen's right. This entire group has mountains of experience, and they're raring to go to put it to use on behalf of the great Americans who serve our nation. And this is going to be full speed ahead to address every quality of life issue we can. Which, Mr. President, you invested in the One Big Beautiful Bill. People don't know how much went into housing and into barracks and into pay. That's a down payment. And now with the $1.5 trillion, which we're working to get every dollar of, it's going to be a generational investment in barracks, in housing, in healthcare, in pay, in ways no commander-in-chief has ever done before. So, Mr. President, thank you for leading on this, and the commission's ready to go.
Well, thank you very much. You're doing a fantastic job. General, please.
Mr. President, Mrs. Hegseth, Secretary Hegseth, it's an honor for me to be here today at the launch of this commission. As we stand here now around the world, military service members are out doing our nation's business and ready to do what is asked of them. The foundation of American military readiness is the families, and the backstopping of all of that is the military spouses that serve behind them. Inevitably, every time somebody deploys, that refrigerator will will break down, the car will break down. You think we're strong. American military spouses are 10 times stronger, and the lift that they carry is significant every single day. I want to thank this commission for the work that they're going to do to help improve military families' lives and military spouses' lives. It is a critical enabler for American warfighting capabilities. So to all of you here and all the work that went into putting this commission together, thank you. And Mr. President, we're honored to be here today.
Where will they be meeting when you have meetings? Because you're going to be having a lot of meetings. Do you know where you're going to be meeting?
Every month here at the White House.
Oh, that's great.
Yes.
We can't do better than that.
Can't do better than that.
Use the Oval Office. Would anybody like to say anything? Maybe Desiree, you could start, and then if you want to say anything, great time to say it. Please,
Absolutely.
Desiree.
Well, I'll just be really short. It's a pleasure for me to serve as the executive director of this commission. I think it's a long time coming. It's a little bit of a pet project out of my office, simply because we have the Chief of Staff of the Air Force's wife that has been inspirational for this. She's a 41-year spouse. But collectively, this group has over 400 years of experience as an active duty military spouse. 400. And they've probably moved about 300 times. So if you can imagine that level of experience coming to this commission and solving real problems for the future of our military spouses and families, it's just an incredible thing that you're doing, President Trump, actually asking them to solve these problems and give you good recommendations. And we're happy to help them do that.
So, you know, we have Desiree's been with us for a long time, and she's directly and indirectly done what she's doing for a long, long time, covered numerous presidents, and she basically responds to the public when the public, they send things. Sometimes they send gifts. Actually, it amounts to millions of dollars in small money. And I said, well, what happens to that money? They send it back, or they do charitable work, but it's literally millions. They send it to me. I should be able to get it. She won't give it to me. I should be entitled to it. No, but they send it to me as just a gesture. But they write thousands and hundreds of thousands of letters, and she's got a staff that's all volunteer. And I have one question: how do I compare in terms of response with other presidents of the past?
No comparison, sir.
Is that good or bad?
No, it's good. Actually, it's very good.
It's very good.
Yeah.
We do okay?
You do great.
A little more than Sleepy Joe?
100%
A little bit more?
Yes.
I think so. Thank you. Thank you. Does anybody have anything to say, or a question, or statement? Would you like to make a statement? Yes, please.
Can I just say, I'm so excited. We've served with the Wills Box now for a number of years, and I've seen them champion the enlisted corps. As the spouse of a senior enlisted leader, it's pretty easy for something amazing like this to happen and not include the enlisted corps, the senior enlisted leaders from the enlisted corps. It means the world to me that this started with them in mind. And I don't know if you remember, but a few years ago, my husband was serving in Alaska, and before you got on the plane, he asked your detail if he could ask you a question, and he asked if you would FaceTime me, and you did. And it meant the
For people
world.
I respect, I do that.
You're getting ready to get on the plane, and this E9, this enlisted command chief, asked you to FaceTime me, and you put your arm around him, and you said, "He's doing a good job, take good care of him." And that picture has hung in his office since, and it just means the world to me that you highlight the enlisted corps every chance you get. And I love to tell people that story, that you took the time.
That's so nice. Thank you very much. Say hello. Okay. I remember. Please, anybody else?
Mr. President, this is Cindy Wilsbach, who's humble to her core and has had a significant role in putting this commission together. So I just want to highlight Cindy's work.
I would just like to say this is a red letter day for me. Just the honor that I feel to be surrounded by these spouses who, what I like to say is, we serve by oath or by vow. We didn't all raise our right hand to take an oath, but we began serving this great nation when we extended our left hand and said a vow to the person that we love that serves this country. And we represent people that are at the end of their careers. We've served decades, 20, 30, 40 years of service. This is about the legacy that we leave for the people that come after us, for these people who have children who are serving now, or for families that we say, we love you, we care about you, and we are the greatest military in the world. And part of that is taking care of our families. And that's what this commission will do.
And your husband is highly respected, I have to tell you that, by everybody. By everybody. Anybody over here? Yes, please.
Mr. President, on behalf of the Coast Guard, we cannot thank you enough for the amount of money that you have put into our organization. We are beyond excited about the new potentials that we have. We could just feel it. The whole Coast Guard. Every time we go to visit our different units and our families, people are super excited.
Including 11 ice cutters, right?
Absolutely. I'll be talking. Yes.
It's going to be beautiful.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
They had one. Russia has 48. They had one, and it was 50 years old. And you're going to soon be getting 11 brand new ones atop of the line. So that's a big.
Our people are very thrilled and super excited and very thankful to you. So thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Good. Anybody else like to say? Last chance. That's it. So I'm going to sign this, and it's a real honor. And then if you like, you could ask questions of the people, and or me if you want. Okay, that's a good one. So I wouldn't want a bad one on this time. Some are good. You know, we rate them from 6 to 10. 6 is usually when I'm standing up holding it. You can't do a very good one, but that's a 10. So you deserve a 10 too. I think you should hold that, okay? Questions, please? Please.
On behalf of the press corps, thank you, ladies, for what you do for our service members in this country.
Right.
Mr. President, are the talks with Iran now off, and are airstrikes?
No, they're on. They're going on right now. It's an amazing thing. We have a little problem with Iran because we have many talks, and we'll say we have or we don't have. You know, we're straight about it. But they deny. But they're not denying it now. They just put out a statement not denying it. But for some reason, they, when they're talking, they don't like saying that they're talking. So I say, we're in talks. Big deal. We're in talks. And they'll sometimes deny it, even though they spend hours and hours together talking. No, the talks are going along. We're going to hit them very hard yesterday. Very, very hard. Harder than any attack. I think I can say, General, from a point of knowledge, any attack since World War II. That's pretty big. And we were set to go, and they called. And in addition, Saudi Arabia called, and UAE called, Qatar called. I called some numerous people. Not, I don't want to use the word begging, but some were, in particular, Iran did not want to be hit. And they said, we want to talk. We want to talk about the Strait, but more importantly, from my standpoint, we want to talk about the denuclearization of Iran, because it's what it's all about. This is why I'm doing this. And it should have been done. It's now 50 years. We keep saying 47 years, but 3 years have gone by. But it's for 50 years that other presidents should have been doing or other countries. Didn't have to be us, but other countries. And nobody did it. And it was time, and we hit them hard with the B-2s more than a year ago now. And that knocked out their capability, their potential capability. And we've done a great job. But when we talk, we say we're talking. If we're not talking, when you ask me, no, we're not talking, I'll say it. But we are talking right now. We're talking, and we're talking at the request of Iran, backed by Saudi Arabia, backed by UAE, and backed by Qatar in particular, but others also. Many countries called. The leaders of many are friendly with a lot of them, almost all of them, one way or the other, and they all wanted to give this a last chance. This is a last chance. This is not something that, if it doesn't happen, this is a last chance for them to sign a good document. Yeah, please.
Mr. President, New York City Mayor Zoran Mamdani is requiring an ID to access his government-run grocery stores. What then is your message to Democrats who do not want to pass the Save America Act and ensure, ID at the ballot
When
box?
was this announced? This was just announced.
Yeah.
I heard about it. Yeah. Well, I wish they'd have an ID to access the voting booth. You know, they don't want to access the voting booth with any identification. We want voter ID, and we want proof of citizenship. Well, he also had a thing where you had to have 2 different IDs to shovel snow during the winter, right? So that's a very friendly question. I like her. Who are you with?
One American News, sir.
Very good. All right. Good question. Very good. A good group.
There are almost 20 GOP senators who have pledged to stay in D.C. to pass Save America Act. So what's your message to the rest of the senators who are still on their summer recess?
I think there's nothing more important than the Save America Act. I think they should stay. They do what they want, but I think they should stay.
Mr. President,
I think it's so important to get it passed. Yeah.
Mr. President, where are the Iran talks, and what are your requirements?
Well, you'll find out today or tomorrow. I mean, they're going to go quickly, one way or the other. It's not very complex. We're talking about the strait, the opening of the strait, having it open literally by tomorrow, completely open. And that's phase 1. And phase 2 is we then will talk about the nuclear capacity, the nuclear, as we've been mentioning. Basically, it's, I think, the denuclearization of Iran has to happen. And that'll be the second phase. But the first phase is the opening of the straits. The second phase will be the denuclearization, and that'll take a little while. But we're very strong on it. They cannot have a nuclear weapon. Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon, and I've never changed in that. Yeah, please, in the back.
Thank you, Mr. President. You said that if Democrats get back into power, what is happening in Spain awaits America. What should voters in other countries with elections coming up soon take away from what's going on in Spain?
You have to be very careful with the whole socialist thing. I think in many cases it's much more than socialist. They skipped socialism. They went directly to communism. But when I saw what happened in Spain, I said, we had a version of that. You could say much worse. We allowed 25 million people under Joe Biden, the Democrats. We had open borders, and countries all over the world, almost all of them, sent people that they don't want into our country. And we've gotten a lot of them out, and we're getting more, including murders. And I always said 11,888. That was the number of murders. Many of them committed more than one murder. And we're going to be just like that if you put these lunatics in that I see running for office. We had an open border a year and a half ago. We had the worst border in the history of our country. Now we have the best border. We haven't had one person come in, and this is done by the Democrats, not by left-leaning people. They do charts. And they have, in 15 months, not one person has come in through our southern border illegally. Now, that's pretty amazing. I'd say maybe 10, maybe 15. They say none. And believe me, if they did, they'd love to report it. But you could go outside in those vast plazas where hundreds of thousands of people gathered when they stormed our country, just like they did, in my opinion, worse, just like they did to Spain. They stormed our country. And those borders are those big plazas that were built. They put concrete down. And now you look at them and there's grass growing in the cracks. Nobody comes up because they know they're not going to get through. And if they do get through, they're going to be taken out, brought back to their country. So we've done a fantastic job. Somebody said you did it too fast. I did it in 30 days, my first 30 days. Biden couldn't do it. He couldn't get it done. He tried at the end. He tried to do something because it was so overwhelming. It was so bad politically. But we did it in 30 days. Somebody said you should have taken a year and a half or 2 years completed because everyone forgets. Even my speechwriters, they say, sir, nobody wants to hear about the border anymore. You've done it. It's an incredible job you've done, but nobody wants to hear about it. And I should have taken a couple of years to do it because, and it actually, the public has about a 2-year, people do, they have a 2-year memory for certain things. They have a 2-week memory. I may have gotten elected, certainly partially on the border, and because we did such a great job, it was a long time ago. I did it twice. I did it in 2016 when it was bad, but I did it this last time when it was really bad. It was, Steve, I would say many, many times worse than it was in 2016. 2016 was bad, but what we just had a year and a half ago, that was the worst border maybe in world history. There's not a third world country that would have allowed that to happen, with people coming in from prisons and people coming in from mental institutions and people forced in by government, because these are the people that those governments, those countries, I know them all, they didn't want. And they walked into a country totally unvetted, totally unchecked. Not anymore. Nobody comes in. Except if they come in legally. Yeah, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. Yesterday you were... I'm with the Washington Examiner, sir.
Good. You're doing good. They've been very nice to me.
You were asked yesterday whether Representative Max Miller should resign from Congress over the allegations, and you said that you'd have a look at it. Have you thought about that? And also, do you think that
it's a very sad thing. I know Max. He's a good person. I mean, I always thought he was a very good person. And I'm going to let the families figure that out. You know, those families, I know they're working on it. It's a very sad thing, especially when you know somebody so well, to be going through that. But it's accusations, and I'm going to let them figure that out. Yeah, please.
President, did you sign off on Todd Blanche rescinding the anti-weaponization fund? And also, there are Democrats right now who say there's essentially two tax codes. There's the Trump family tax code and a normal people tax code. Why do you think that your family deserves some level of special exemption when it comes to the auditing of taxes?
Well, I'll go into that. First of all, I had a 10-year case that was settled until I announced I was running for office. It was a settled deal like I've been doing all my life. I've been audited every year for my entire life, which I have a lot of wealthy friends that were never audited. To this day, they were never audited. I was audited. And my deal was settled. In writing, it was settled, subject to final approval. Then I announced I was running for president, and all they did was haunt me with it. They ended the settlement, and they went after me illegally. And they did a lot of bad things to me like they did to other people. And I was treated very unfairly by the IRS. It was weaponized against me. Think of it. I had a case this is a 10-year-old case. And it was settled. It was done. The case was over. I announced I'm running for president, and they terminated the settlement in Washington. And they went after me. And what they did here was very, frankly, if you talk about reparations or if you talk about payment, what they did to me, I had a very good case against them. So this was a case that was settled, that when I decided to run for president, right at the beginning, this is a long time, it's been going on for a long time, they terminated the settlement, which is something that never happened before. We have letters from the biggest law firms in Washington saying that this case is nonsense, just like the Russia was nonsense. They weaponized government. And so that's that, and most people understand that. On the fund, these were people that were treated unbelievable. 22 suicides, more than that, I think. Look at Ashley. Look at so many other things that happened. These people were treated horribly. And this fund could have given them some solace. But, it happens to be very popular among many quarters, and I don't participate in that fund. I was certainly treated badly. I don't participate, but I thought it would be very fair for people that spent years in prison, people that were treated so badly, for in many cases people that did absolutely nothing wrong. So I view that fund as a positive, and a lot of Republicans do too, not so many Democrats. And it's not only for that, it's for other things too. People that have been treated unfairly, that have been weaponized by a corrupt government that we had with Obama and that we had with Biden. You had a corrupt government with both of them.
Mr. President, did you sign off on Todd Blanche rescinding
I didn't look at it. All I know is that Todd Blanche is great. He's going to do a great job. Everybody knows it. And I understand there's been a sign-off. But I don't know what they agreed. I think Todd Blanche agreed to reconfirm things that he's already said, and what he said was okay.
Can I ask,
please go ahead.
Are there other avenues you'd have supporters get paid potentially if it's not the anti-weaponization fund? Is there another way?
Who are you with?
I'm with MS Now, sir.
You who?
MS Now.
MS Now?
Yes, sir.
What a terrible show. They have the worst people on that show.
Are there other avenues that you want to see people
No,
take?
there's no other avenues that I know about. Go ahead.
Mr. President, on the Iran talks,
That's the failed MSDNC, right? The failed. They failed. They gave it a new name. You know why? Because nobody watched it. Go ahead. And fewer people are watching it now.
on the Iran talks, is there discussions, is Iran willing to return to a fully free navigation of the strait? Is that on the table?
Say it again differently.
Would Iran be willing to return to fully free navigation of the
It has to be. I'm not going to let them charge.
Would you
If anybody's going to charge, we'll charge. We're the one that has total control. We have total control. You know, we have a thing called a blockade with his Navy. And that Navy is, they call it a wall of steel, the United States wall of steel. And no, there's not going to be charging. We're not talking about charging at all. There won't be charging. Yeah, please, in the back.
President, you said last week that illegal immigration...
Who are you with?
GB News. You said that illegal immigration is killing the UK. Nigel Farage today has proposed the use of the Royal Navy to combat small boats crossing the Channel. Do you think that European nations, including the UK, should be using their militaries to stop illegal immigration?
Look, you have to stop illegal immigration in Europe. I know Europe better than anybody, better than the people that run it. And I have great relationships. Two things are killing Europe. Number one is immigration. Number two is energy. Like the UK, when you look at the UK, they have one of the best energy fields in the world, North Sea oil. Now, I think your new prime minister is going to actually open up from what I hear, I spoke to him, and he sounded terrific on this subject. But you open it up, you'll be a wealthy country. You keep it closed, you're going to be a bankrupt country, which is what you are now. Essentially, you're a bankrupt country. You have one of the greatest energy fields, the North Sea oil, one of the greatest fields in the world. You know, the UK buys its energy from Norway, who gets the energy from the North Sea, from not as vibrant a part of the North Sea oil was. You're sitting on top of gold, better than gold, and you don't do anything with it. It doesn't work. You don't allow the oil companies in, and it doesn't work. And I spoke with your new prime minister. I was very impressed, and he sort of indicated to me, I said, look, you can be a wealthy country or a bankrupt country. You have your choice. Not every country has that choice. Almost no country has that choice. But in the case of the UK, Scotland, I'm talking about Scotland, right off the shore, in Aberdeen, Scotland. That was Aberdeen was the oil capital of Europe for years. And then one day the Liberals got in and they closed it. And your energy rates have quadrupled. You have among the highest energy prices in the world. You could cut them in half. You could give away free energy if you'd open up the North Sea. And it's good for another 500 years, maybe more, probably 1,000 years.
Has our new Prime Minister restored your faith in the leadership of Britain? Has our new Prime Minister restored your faith in the leadership of Britain, or do you think it's too late?
Look, I think we're going to have a very good relationship. We'll see. I'm not going to tell him how to run his country. But I can tell you, immigration is an incredible problem for Europe. You're allowing people in that in many cases are not going to help you. I'm going to be nice. They're not going to help you. And the people that are there, people from your country, people from other countries that have been there for a long time and did a great job, beautiful place. Look, I love it. You know, my parents both came from Europe indirectly. So a German, Scott, and, you know, it's like one of those things. It's very sad. When I see what's happening to Europe, it's very sad to me. But they have a problem with immigration. They have a problem with energy. You have windmills all over the place. Windmills, you lose your shirt. Any country with windmills is a loser, okay? You just have to look. If they have windmills, they're a loser. Because you lose money with windmills.
Mr. President.
Yeah, please, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Go ahead, who are you with?
John Fredericks Media.
Yeah, that's right.
Original name.
What was your name before?
John Fredericks.
Go ahead, John.
Where, Mark? Two domestic questions, sir. The first one is Exxon and Chevron, Integrated Oil U.S., just announced record profits second quarter. Unbelievable. For Exxon, for instance, 14 billion, highest they've had in over a decade. For Chevron, for the quarter, highest in history. On the back,
12 times.
On the back.
You saw that?
Yes. I mean, it's unbelievable. On the backs.
I don't like it.
workers paying higher gas. Is our...
They're making too much money, okay? Based on a shortage, they're making too much money. I don't like it. And I should be the last one to say, because I'm a big free enterprise guy, nobody bigger. And, you know, you're going to see oil, when we're finished with Iran, you're going to see the prices drop through the floor. But they made too much money, too much money. Chevron, too much money. ExxonMobil, too much money. When you look at one company where they made 12 times what they made the year before, they got to give some of that back to the public. And they better cut the retail price, the consumer price. Too much money. You're surprised I'm saying it? I'll say it loud and clear. I'm not happy about it. Go ahead.
Have you looked at comparisons for
Go ahead.
Just one. For those of us here that live in Washington, D.C. with our families, like I do, the renaissance of the city that you've been able to do in 18 months is incredible. Before you
Did you hear that, everybody? The renaissance of Washington, D.C. in 15, 16 months is incredible, and it is. It's clean, it's safe, and you haven't seen anything yet. We're replacing all of the grass that hasn't been replaced in the fields, all the beautiful fields where the grass is. You know, grass is like humans. It has a life. This grass hasn't been changed in 100 years. We're doing all the fields. We're doing most of the graffiti is moved. But the most important thing is it's been beautified. We did 78 monuments and fountains and waterfalls, and they went from being horrible, mostly graffitis, and most of them for 25 years never worked. They haven't worked. And it's a renaissance, like you use the word renaissance, but it's a renaissance. But the biggest thing is we have very little crime now. This was the crime capital, frankly, of the world. It was the most unsafe capital of any country in the world. Now it's one of the safest, and it's one of the safest places in the United States. And people are coming down. You see it, the tourism in Washington, everyone's safe now. Nobody's getting mugged, shot. We used to lose 3 people a week. Death. That's the least, it's 3 people in terms of death. 150 people a year were killed. They come down from Iowa, they come from Indiana. Mom, I'm looking at the Washington Monument. And they end up getting killed. We call their parents, I'm sorry. Doesn't happen anymore. We don't have that anymore. We're rough, but we don't have that anymore. Our military has been unbelievable, and they work very well with the D.C. police, but our military came in, the general people that we know so well, General, right? They don't play games, and we got the gangs out. We removed almost 5,000 people who were career criminals, who came in with Biden with the open borders, a lot of them, and they're no longer here. We sent them back to their countries. You've got to say, have you ever seen such a transformation?
It's unbelievable if you live here. It's just, you don't want to go back.
And now you can walk to work, you can walk to the White House. The people in the White House, they tell me, sir, thank you. They're thanking me all the time. They used to have to take Uber, and the Uber would be robbed, okay? They weren't even saying. They'd go to a restaurant, and they'd feel safe in a restaurant, and then the restaurant would be robbed. Do you know the restaurants were all closing? And now you can't, if you're a restaurateur, you can't get a restaurant. You literally can't. The restaurants are booming. Crime is down 92%, maybe more. I want to get down 100%. You know, the greatest statistic, though, that you have is that 2% of the people create 91% of the crime. You could really handle that. And we moved almost 5,000 people out. They're criminals, career criminals. We moved that, or in some cases they're in jail. In some cases, they were so bad, they came in through Biden. They're so bad, we don't want to move them out. We want to put them in jails because we're afraid they're going to come back in somehow. So I appreciate you saying that.
Would you consider going to Congress if they come in and try to roll it back, the new Democratic mayor?
And you had a mayor who's, I guess she's a communist. She says she's a socialist, but I guess she's a communist based on what she says. But I have not met her yet. I look forward to meeting her. Would I federalize? Basically, you're saying federalize D.C. Yeah, well, I'm allowed to do that. Would I do it? If they want to, we took something that was in deep trouble. It was a graffiti-filled, crime-filled mess, we turned it into Shangri-La. We turned it into a great place. Look outside. Look what's happening. Look at the beautiful ballroom and military center. It's a military center, much more than... We have a drone port on top. Look at the grass in front of the White House being all replaced with the top stuff. The parks are all being replaced. It starts very soon, actually. We'll do one at a time. It's about 700 acres of parks. They're all going to have brand new, the best grass you can get. Scots. You know Scots? Scots Miracle-Gro. They're doing it. They do great grass. What can I tell you? I got to give them a plug because they did the White House for free. Sir, a friend of mine, a guy that, he's terrific. We'd like to give you new grass at the White House. I said, I'll take it. How much? He said, free. I'll take it. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Mr. President, this is at least the 5th time you've turned off airstrikes against Iran since April to negotiate. What is your message to the American people who are wondering what has changed this time? Why should it be any different?
Well, you don't know. I don't know. I think we're going to maybe get something, but I want to give them every last chance before decapitation. It's very tough to do what we have planned, still planned. We'll see what happens. But it's a very, very tough thing to do. I think I'm very proud of the fact that I'll give people a chance. This is a big move. To do an attack that big on a country, I'd rather not do it. Now, we've already, through lots of large attacks, but they were normal large. Hopefully they'll come to their senses, because what happened cannot have a nuclear weapon, but hopefully they'll come to their senses. So they called me and they said, please don't attack, we'll make a deal. That's the real truth, and everyone knows it. And who wouldn't call? And they found out through leaks and sleazebags, a lot of sleazebags, leakers. Leakers should be put in jail. They have to strengthen up the laws for leakers. But in this case, leakers helped because they said the severity of the attack, and Iran knew it. They knew what was coming. It was going to come last night, and it would have gone on for a long time, and there'd be essentially very little left. There'd be nothing left. And if I'm given a chance to let a lot of people live, I want to give that chance. So I'm under no time constraint. I don't happen to be running, but a lot of very good Republicans are running. And you have a sick ideology taking place right now that, hopefully they'll be defeated because they'll destroy the country if they ever take over. But this desk is like a blocking desk. No matter who gets in. If it's bad, I block. And I'm good at blocking. If it's bad, if it's stupid things like the things they want to do, we want to get rid of the U.S. Senate. I don't like a lot of Senate, just to be honest with you. I don't want to get rid of the Senate. We want to get rid of the Supreme Court. They want to put now 21 or 23 people, that's the real, on the Supreme Court, or get rid of it. They want to get rid of the presidency. They want to have an appointed executive running. That's a communist thing, That's a communist thing. These are sick people. And, I said it the other day, and it maybe doesn't sound that important, but when a country goes bad, like look at the blue cities, what do they have in common aside from massive crime? Much more crime. The Republicans have very little crime. But what do the blue cities have in mind? And also you can say this with nations when they go bad. The blue cities have something in common: crime, high crime, vicious, violent crime. But what do they have in common? They're all dirty. They're filthy dirty. Their streets are dirty. Their streets smell. Their storefronts are broken. Their trees are all gross. Everything about the place is dirty. And I don't want to mention any specific city. It's really all of them. But you go into these cities that are blue, they're crime-ridden and they're filthy dirty. They're like Washington, D.C. was a year and a half ago, with graffiti all over the place, with crime all over the place, with people afraid to be here. You had to be ashamed of your capital. Some of the most beautiful buildings built in the real time. Like you look at the Supreme Court building and they put graffiti on it. The most beautiful columns I've ever seen. In fact, our columns are going to be nicer at the ballroom. I said, I want the Supreme Court, but better. But you look at those columns, how magnificent, and then you see graffiti on the side of the building. No artistry, just bad people. But the one thing they all have in common, crime, the two things, crime, but they're disgusting. They're filthy dirty. The streets are dirty. They have people lying all over the street doing you know what. They're all the same. And this is what we're going to put in it. Not going to happen in our country. Go ahead, please. Yeah, in the back.
When someone, me sir or Barry?
Go ahead.
Okay. When a group loses, I'm sorry.
He was very rude to you, right? Go ahead. Who are you with?
I'm with Real America's Voice, sir. Sir, when a group such as the Haitians lose their temporary protective status, how soon should they be bussed and flown out?
Well, we had a big victory in court on temporary, the protective status. And I largely leave it up to my people. But we've had people here for many years that they were here temporarily. We had people coming in and they've been here for many, many years. And they had a tragedy in their country. They had, sometimes it was storms, or it was, it was hurricanes. And they come in and, they're here for 12 years, 14 years. So something's got to be done. Yeah, please.
Mr. President, on the oil company, have you spoken to Janine Pirro about her decision to drop criminal charges?
No, Janine Pirro made a mistake. There was vandalism. I just told you we did, I think, 78. One of the things was the reflecting pool. Hasn't worked since 1922 because it always leaked. It always leaked from 1922. It's the largest, longest pool ever, and all that. The concept is beautiful, but it always leaked because of the size, because of maintenance, whatever. But it was built in 1922, and from the day it was built, it leaked. Biden spent $58 million. Barack Hussein Obama spent much more than that. He said, I have an idea. Let's take the water from the Potomac. So they took the water from the Potomac, and it was putrid. It was putrid. It was a disaster. Biden was a disaster. I said, I'm going to get that fixed, along with Doug Burgum and Department of Interior. And we worked hard on that. Now, we worked hard on all 70. It's actually, I think, 81 now. You saw the new horses that just opened by the bridge with the gold. That was the way they were many years ago. Now they look better than they did many years ago. But these monuments look better than they did when they were originally built. Not just a little fix-up. We made them the way they were, plus. And everyone's so proud. The biggest, one of the bigger jobs was, not really the biggest, believe it or not, but one of the biggest was the reflecting pool. And we did a great job. We sandblasted the stone outside. It was granite, so it has a long life. We did a great job. We got very expensive material to put on top of the surface that always leaked because it was stone. It was a stone surface. Always leaked. And we put it on, and it was beautiful. Now, we have photographs or tapes, like moving cameras, right? We have them where people are on the side cutting it with a box knife. Now, I'm not saying I was 100% thrilled with the contractor, but the contractor was rushing. We wanted to get it open for July 4th, and we got it done. But in addition, there was vandalism. Number one, look at the grass, where the grass was all knocked out with a very, very powerful ingredient that we know very well what it is. I'm not going to say the name because people get ideas. And they put a terrible phrase, I won't say that either, but a terrible phrase on a massive piece of grass that we had just replaced. Kill the grass. We had to replace the grass. A lot of grass. In addition, they took knives or cutters and they cut the material. It's material. And they put their hands and they pulled it. And there was also some maintenance things that we would have routinely fixed. But we had that up and it was perfect. And then you had the bubblers, which get rid of the what forms in the water. And that works great, but they turned it off because of the fight. Because it competed a little bit of noise during the fight. They turned it off, and it grows very rapidly in the water, but that actually works very well, and that's all. So now we're just about set to reopen it, and we had to replace cut areas where they cut it and ripped it. But there's a tape And Jesse Waters, by the way, did a whole big thing on it. There's a tape that's out there that I posted on Truth, where you have people leaning over the side, the weakest part because of the flexibility. You know, it moves. It's very complicated. It moves. And the softest part has to be flexible. And that's the stuff you can cut. And these guys knew what they were doing. And they cut all the way along the base. Cut, cut, cut. Now, when Janine looked at it, it was the day after the 4th of July with the largest fireworks display in the world. And the stuff was laying all over the pool, the fireworks, because they used the pool as one of the, and it was all over the pool. It was the day after, very shortly thereafter. But that was working beautifully, and it was vandalized. And if you look at the tape, now the tape isn't a great tape in the sense that it's a little hard to say who it exactly was, but it was people cutting this very expensive material, waterproofing material. Anyway, it looked beautiful. And then they cut it and they vandalized. And we weren't necessarily thrilled with the contractor, but they did a job and they were fixing any problems. But then it got carried away because the judge was extremely unfriendly to Janine. And frankly, I think she choked because the judge was really vicious. Instead of going after the people that did it, the judge went after her and went after her department. And I guess she choked. I don't know what the hell happened.
Are you reconsidering her role?
I don't know what you don't. You're fake news. Don't ever talk again. You're fake news. One of the worst in the business. Fortunately, nobody watches you. But something happened. There was vandalism there, and there was some things from the contractor which we would fix. But it's almost complete. And when it opens, it's incredible. It's really incredible. But remember this, it leaked from 1922. It opened in 1922. They never solved the leak problem because it was stone. And the cracks with the stone, stone is really not a waterproofing material. We essentially use a very high-grade swimming pool type material, which was my idea. I was very proud of that idea. And by the way, I didn't know the contractor. Everyone said the contractor. I didn't know the contractor. But when it was completed, it was perfect. But then somebody went in and cut it, just like they did the grass. You know, nobody talks about the grass. The grass have helicopter pictures of what they did. Wasn't it 87? Right? Do you know what they did, right? Did you see what they did? Did you see what they wrote? What did they write?
8647.
That's right, 8647. They 86 them, so it's 8647. They didn't do 45. At least they left 45 out. But they, in massive letters on the grass, 8647, and nobody talked about that. Was vandalism too. We had to replace all that grass. It was a tremendous amount of grass because when you hit it with this poison, it's acid. It kills the grass no matter how. You can't even clean it, even if you got there right after. It's very powerful stuff. I know it well. So people did great damage to this thing because they're sick people. You know who's representing the man is a man from Crew, a sleazebag who's been suing me for my whole political, hasn't won, he's lost all the time. But Crew, do you know what Crew is? It's a third-rate operation that's supposed to be a charity, but it's not. They used it for political reasons. So we should be proud of our monuments, and we should be proud of our city. And you know, that was opened before they did the damage. It was opened. It never looked more beautiful. It looked like a mirror, and that's what it was supposed to be. It was a very dark color, because otherwise you don't see it as a reflecting pool, and it looked beautiful. Well, it'll look just as beautiful. It'll be fixed and open over the next week and a half, 2 weeks.
Mr. President. Are you rooting for in Michigan?
One more, yeah.
Who are you rooting for in Michigan tomorrow, Mr. President?
Well, you have a very interesting group. Who I really voted for is Mike Rogers, because I think he's going to be a great senator. But you have a communist versus a socialist. That's the way I look at it. You have a communist versus a socialist. It looks like the communist is leading. We're talking about for the Democrat primary. But for the Republican, you have a very good man and he should be able to. He should be able to win. Yeah. Okay, one more. Go on, in the back. Yeah, go ahead.
Lafayette Park.
Lafayette Park. It's great. Do we do a good job in Lafayette Park?
It's phenomenal.
So Lafayette Park is right across from the other side of the street, and I made a donation of $10 million. That was me, personally, and it's unbelievable. It was so dirty and so disgusting. Like everything liberal becomes dirty and disgusting. Socialism, liberalism, progressivism. You know, the word progressive is such a nice word. They love using it. But the radical left isn't letting them use that word anymore. But Lafayette Park is a large park. It was known as the gateway to the White House. And it was disgusting. The monument is beautiful, graffiti all over it. I won't say what was on the sidewalk, but horrible, 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 disgusting stuff. And not only did we fix it, we have military standing there watching it. And if anybody touches it, that was the one mistake with the reflecting pond. They hadn't put up the cameras yet. They had enough up because you see what's happening. But if they would have had them up, we would have had it would have been a lot easier. And I was disappointed with Jeanine Pirro, really disappointed with Jeanine Pirro. She folded like an umbrella, and people get away with things, and it's a disgrace. But we're very proud of Lafayette Park. Now we have a big decision to make. Do we take the pavers that are red, the red brick pavers, and do we change them into a granite? It's a gray granite, they're beautiful, but they're not the original. So we're going to have to make that decision. You have a good sense of taste. What would you do? Huh?
Yes, change it.
You would change the red brick into the granite.
Heartbeat.
The granite is much stronger, holds up much better. Different color.
Legacy.
Change it. Okay.
Are you considering firing Pirro, Mr. President?
Go ahead, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. Today's the MLB trade deadline, and there's been talk lately about a potential lockout next year. I think over salary cap concerns, proposed salary cap. Do you support a salary cap in the MLB, and what are your thoughts?
Well, we're going to talk about that at a different time. It's a complex situation, but not too complex for me. Yeah, please. In the back.
What did you think of the Nationals trading Luis Garcia to the Yankees? And do you think Brian
Which
Cashman, Luis Garcia from the Washington Nationals to the New York Yankees? And what do you think of the job Brian Cashman's doing?
Well, I've known Brian Cashman for a long time. Look, he's done a good job. I think Randy Levine is great. He's a great executive. And by the way, the NIL or whatever it is very close to getting solved, college sports. And Randy Levine and Nick Saban and a whole group of people have done an unbelievable job. That was a case that should have been appealed by the NCAA. They never appealed it. Whoever ran the NCAA, they never appealed it. The original case was thrown out by a judge that knew nothing about sports or college sports. And that case should have been appealed. They didn't appeal it. They didn't know. I think they forgot something happened. And college sports was and is in turmoil right now. Turmoil. And Randy Levine from the Yankees, the president of the Yankees, got together with a lot of people. We had it right here, 60 people that were in that world, including legal people. And from football, it was Nick Saban, who won 6 or 7 championships. Fantastic coach and very respected. And many other people, very, very respected. And we have a bipartisan deal as of right now. So we'll see what happens. They'll be voting on it soon. I hope they get it. I hope they get it done. Thank you all very much. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, guys. Thanks for hanging out. We're going to go over to Rumble right now. Please move on over. I'm going to shut down YouTube. We have more to watch. We have an episode about Trump Roman Balmakov's talking about Trump trying to dismantle the ICC, the International Criminal Court. We've got an episode about Malaysia pissed off because China built a ghost city there that no one even used. And then we got an episode of Joshua talking about the invasion in Spain. So more to watch over there. Can't do watch parties on YouTube, so I will see you over on the Rumble side. Goodbye, YouTube. Have a great day. See you tomorrow. Links in the description. Go to Rumble. Make an account there. Please say hi. Type in the chat, please, at least once a month. Thank you. Bye, guys. Goodbye, YouTube.